Good evening. May the 3rd, Fandom Empire Live. 5 things we want from Halloween Ends. Everybody wants Tina back. That's number one for everybody. The return of Tina from Halloween 5.
I'm for it.
I'm for it. Apologies for taking a drink. We have a fun little show for you guys tonight. We're talking Halloween Ends. 5 things we want. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the fuck is going over on at DC right now and how many issues they may have on their hands, DCEU specifically. I'm going to touch on Star Wars Day a little bit. Some wrestling talk later, and Doctor Strange reviews are in, so look at a couple of them. I know some of you guys are going to see that. I don't know when I'll get to see it, but I'll see it eventually. First up, it's Kieran. What's going on, man?
I don't know. It's been kind of a blah day. I got a couple things kind of bumming me out lately, but nothing big. Whatever. Here to hang out with my friends now.
You really don't want Hayden Christensen to come back to Star Wars, do you? It's bumming you out that bad, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I don't have a problem with that because when he gets here, I get to rip on him again. So I don't see why that's a bad thing. He can be in as many Star Wars shows as he likes.
That's not being objective, sir.
I've seen his fantasy lineup. I'd be in a bad mood, too.
It's got to be bad. I mean, he's batting 0 40 movie appearances so far. So,
anywho,
Sean Bean death count.
Mike Bish rocking what I can only assume is his Chase Elliott number 9 Hooters hat. I can't see the 9, but I'm assuming you wouldn't wear a Hooters hat unless it was a Chase Elliott one. So.
It is 9 is on the side somewhere, but it's on there somewhere. So, what's up, man? What's up, y'all? Good to be on the show, ready to talk some Halloween Ends.
I know you have a chance to plug this later, but you're putting some focus on something else that is coming up. You were messaging me about it today.
Yeah. I'm just trying to bring my podcast back, man. It's been MIA for a while, and I think it's a good time to bring it back. I have a good connection with the Ozark actor who also is in the coming season of Stranger Things, so I'm going to have him on as a guest. It's just a good time to bring that back, so I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Good shit. Good win yesterday, too.
Thanks.
Also joining us this evening, Johnny. What's going on, man?
Not
By the way, I didn't notice what you were wearing in the last stream.
What?
What are you wearing?
What am I rocking? I'm rocking my my presidential support shirt, the Scroob helmet ticket.
No,
of course, this one's for 2016, so I think they need to put out new propaganda shirts.
You know what I love? I love when people tell me Scroob is Brooks backward, and then you're like, well, but not really.
I've never heard that.
See, and that's one of those things that it's right in front of your face that you just never realize. Like for me, it was the realization a few years ago. I was playing Kingdom Hearts for the first time in a very long time, just before 3 came out, and I got to the end of the first game, and it smacked me in the face that Yen Sid is Disney spelled backwards. Like it is Disney. Well, like it's an anagram for Disney. I'm like, what?
My point is, though, it's not Brooks spelled backwards, so I laugh at people when they say that. Because the R is the wrong place.
That's true.
It would have to be Scorb.
That's true. It's an anagram of Brooks, though.
It is, though.
Also joining us tonight, and by the way, I guess we can get this out of the way now. Probably joining us a lot more often on stuff that's not just wrestling either moving forward, which is going to disappoint the guy whose face bombed. I was trying to get to it, but he didn't even let me. It's Jared. What's going on, man?
I am doing fantastic, and I hope I made Kieran's day just a little bit worse with that news. Hi, Kieran.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I'm going to be here a lot more often.
Nobody watches more bad movies than this guy.
I'm glad you're on the panel more often, but hopefully you'll come back and take that damn ugly ass hat off.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't hear you over us winning the Super Bowl next February, but it's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hands in the air if your team's actually won a Super Bowl in the last century.
Hands in the air if your team has cool jerseys. Both of them.
I'm sorry.
everybody-
Who decides that? Everybody thinks their team's jerseys look cool.
I'm sorry. Green Bay jerseys are terrible. You got
Yeah,
traditional though. Traditional. It's the
Our jerseys are traditionally cool.
Yeah.
We haven't changed them in 100 years. We're good.
like
traditional.
seaweed that went through a sewage factory.
Well, I
Hey,
got-
we wear the Acme jerseys once a year. Those things are ridiculous, but awesome.
I got to pretend to be a Bucks fan again, but maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the show. We have, as I said off the top, a fun show to get to tonight. I do see the super chats. Just want to let everybody know we'll get to as many questions and comments as we can during the show. Feel free to chime in whenever you want. Obviously, you can send in a super chat, support the show, and Google will bring their hand in their pocket and take like 45% of it. But you can also support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Join today because that's the way. And if Darth Maul can't convince you to join, then maybe Michael can, because that was the wrong image. This is the right one. Anyhow,
Wait, if it's Michael doing our Patreon ad, shouldn't it just be
or just
with the image up?
yeah, we could do that.
We're
We can
5
manage-
minutes into the show and Johnny's breathing heavy. God damn it.
Oh man. Well, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Can't wait to dive into this with all you. Right off the top, I want to thank everybody who came out to this stream yesterday afternoon. It was yesterday. I don't remember if it was yesterday afternoon or the day before. Today's Tuesday, so I think it was Sunday. This is what I mean. I'm on autopilot. The days are bleeding together. But we had a fun little Lampkin Lane stream, and this guy right here, meaning me, accidentally sent it out to all patrons and not just the Lampkin Lane and above patrons. So the
Oopsie.
Lampkin Lane people and above the Fandom Addicts are going to get another Lampkin Lane episode this Sunday evening to make up for that little whoopsie. So be on the lookout for that. Fellas, Halloween Ends is in the news. Before we go anywhere, we haven't heard Mike's thoughts on the footage at all. So again, I'm going to read the description from last week's Halloween trailer in air quotations that debuted at CinemaCon. I know we had the discussion that we don't think will be
Get Jared to read it since he's your new best friend.
hurt feelings here. It's all the Hayden hate, man. You turn you against me.
Whoa, you delivered that line even better than Hayden.
To say her, but that wouldn't be right. 44 years ago, the Face of Fear was born. Classic footage from John Carpenter's Halloween. A murder montage shows the victims of Michael Myers on Halloween night 78 in 2018. Again, 2018 means the movie 2018 and Halloween Kills. Every scream, every scare, every slash has led to this. In new footage, Laurie breathes heavily as she hides in a dark closet. Michael Myers stalks a kitchen with a knife. Laurie lunges at Michael and slashes at him. It's a brutal fight. Michael grabs Laurie's hair and slams her face first into a glass cabinet. Laurie grips her knife and stabs it into Michael's hand. From what I understand, right through Michael's hand. The trailer ends with Michael on a table. Laurie stands over her prey with the butcher knife. And again, even though the description doesn't say it, I believe the knife is being held right to his head. All of us talked endlessly about this last week. Mike did not, so we'll sit back and let Mr. Bish take over and give us his thoughts on what was shown and if any of your feelings towards Halloween Ends has changed going into, the build-up period.
It sounds great. From the people that were there and their reviews of it, nothing but positives. I really haven't seen anything negative on it. Either I'm not searching hard or it's just not out there. So that's always good news. It's what I expected. Obviously, we knew there was going to be at least one major showdown between Michael and Laurie in Halloween Ends. Now I've heard maybe there might be multiple. Maybe this isn't the ending fight. Maybe this isn't the last fight. Who knows? On that front, I think.
Sounds
So
like
no,
channel.
I have. I was about to say that was you. So no, I'm excited for it though. I mean, again, I'm not as excited as I was for Halloween Kills, for whatever reason that is. But no, I mean, it's a good thing not to hear any negative, any negative reviews so far. I'm glad there hasn't been. Obviously, it's still pretty early, but no major leaks as well. So they obviously showed a scene that we all knew was coming, so they haven't spoiled anything yet. But obviously, when it comes to that stuff, that's going to be more Universal's decision. So, and I don't have confidence in that.
Longtime friend of the channel, Melissa, who we know is going through a bit of a tough time herself lately. We're definitely thinking about you and your family. Says, love you all. Hope Halloween never ends. Well, I assure you, Melissa, this is not the last Halloween movie. Remains to be seen if it'll be the last one in this timeline, but it won't be the last Halloween movie. And appreciate the support. It really means a lot. So let's take a second, fellas, and touch on something Mike just said. Mike said, and I quote, there hasn't really been too many leaks yet, like publicly. And even the stuff we have is far less than what we had for Kills. But I feel like we've still had more than anywhere else has. Not that it's a competition. Other places have had stuff too. But I can tell you that that's about to change. I don't know if anybody's seen my tweet I posted. I think it was stupid early in the morning. And it's like a kitchen faucet leaking and a bunch of like, emojis. And that is, there's a test screening. It's getting ready to happen. Sounds like it's the end of this month. It might be early June. I don't have the date, but it's happening. That I can confirm. And we all know how this works. People will sign an NDA and then turn around, run to Reddit, and the plot is on the internet. That will happen again. It's not a matter of what if. It's a matter of when, and the answer to that is soon. So the leaks are coming, and this is what you do though when you run public test screenings. Obviously, they have some selection process, but the leaks are coming. Obviously, with us doing the channel, some of us will be hands-on with it, some of us will not be. But I'm just warning everybody: if you're leak sensitive, the leaks are definitely going to come. So, why don't we throw Jer under the bus and make him do his list first here? Because I have a feeling there might be a couple laughs. Although maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. So, 5 things he wants from this movie, Halloween.
All right. First and foremost is it's actually a serious one, but I want so we know the whole ending that Jamie Lee Curtis talked about with people are gonna be upset over it, and I think it has to do something with her taking over from Michael, or them coming together, and she gets her own mask, and they start killing people together, and then we get Halloween Ends 2, and
Sounds
Halloween
like
keeps ending, and Halloween. And Halloween won't end.
Rob Zombie's third movie that never happened.
I mean,
literally to a T.
I'm quite okay with that movie not happening because he wandered off and did other things, and I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Hold a hand up to your camera. You're way out of focus, Jer.
I don't know if it is out of focus or if it's a quality thing, Johnny. It might be a quality thing.
That's
maybe
possible. It just looks out of focus.
Reminds me of the quality of his
down there in the bottom left corner. Jeez.
Well, I can.
Yeah, I'm like 480 pixels right now.
He was in big size when I noticed it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a quality.
Is that better?
Yeah, that time made it look more like a quality issue.
Yeah, it's a quality thing. Blame Johnny.
How's that my fault?
I don't know. It just is.
Johnny's leeching my internet.
We got you think they're going to go on some killing rampage. Man, it would be fun to be a fly on the wall.
Since it is safe to assume that we will probably be in a theater together watching this film, should this happen, I am taking the tub of popcorn that will inevitably be in my chest and dumping it on his head.
Not mine.
That will occur.
Not my idea. It's
Not his, not yours. His.
So I'm
going
gonna make sure
for his idea.
I'm gonna make sure the seating arrangement is like last time, and Kieran is in between us. So
One of my 5 things was going to be when Sean hands out the tickets, don't seat me next to Johnny, who looks at his phone during movies.
Oh, that drives me nuts. I know he does. Kieran's reaction to finding out he's sitting beside Jer in Halloween Ends.
Honestly,
You should just show up dressed as Loomis. Full on do that.
honestly, I looked at Jer right after the movie and I was like, hey, what'd you think? And he looked like he already forgot the movie. He couldn't even tell me anything about it.
He was more interested in talking about Halloween 3.
Hell yeah.
Understandably so. That movie is terrifying.
We're going to have to do a watch along on the channel for that. Get everybody over and just set up a camera in the living room.
It would be my first time.
Wait. You
you're gonna
talk shit about that movie and you've never seen it?
I don't talk shit about Halloween 3.
Did you not talk shit about it last week?
He's definitely been on here, been like, it sounds so stupid. And
Yeah, I recall last week you were hammering on that movie.
No, I didn't say anything bad about it.
Okay.
Oh, that guy says bad shit about everything.
Yeah, he doesn't like sand. What the hell's wrong with him?
Speaking of which.
Hi guys, this is Terrence, Fandom Empire, and you're watching Fandom Empire Live, which Sean didn't invite me to, so it's probably going to be a piece of shit!
Sorry, Terrence. Maybe next time. We'll try to get you on next time.
Someday.
What's next, man? What do you got next?
Honestly, I want to see a tie-in. Okay, so you said I didn't notice it in the first Halloween 2018, but you said they had a Halloween 3 reference in there.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not meant to.
It's not as over the top as the
mask,
the playground.
No. It's they run basically. They run right into Lori in 2018.
Okay,
the 3 Silver Shamrock masks.
So I want that trend to continue. I want there to be a scene somewhere where they could be hanging on the wall in the background or something. Michael's wandering through a store looking for some chips, and they're just chilling in the background. So we need that to continue. I would be okay, and I don't think they're going to do it. It's highly unlikely just because of the nature of the trilogy. But I would like what they did with it, the remake, is they didn't tell anybody that they were doing a 2-parter, and you didn't find out until the end. And then it was like, okay, there's still more coming. And I think, and that's the reason they kind of did this trilogy too, because they realized they had too much content for just 2 movies and they had to extend it to the 3rd. I'm kind of hoping they keep it going, because obviously it's a franchise that's making money still. It's not dead in the water like what they did.
Making quite a bit of money considering the circumstances.
Exactly. It's not like they've beat a dead horse like Saw or Friday the 13th. Whatever remake they did most recently that was not the greatest. Like, this is probably one of the more financially stable horror franchises going right now. So I would like them to continue it somehow, but I don't know if the twist at the end that we're getting is going to, leave some doors open for that. Hopefully, maybe, but it feels like if there's a swerve at the end, there's going to be story left over. They can't do something that's going to make a bunch of people angry and then be like, okay, see ya, we're done, trilogy over, see you later. Like, there's going to be legs there, and I think they can hopefully continue that from whatever the ending is.
I definitely think there's room to do more. I know everybody seems to be very close-minded about that, but money is the ultimate thing that will decide that. Sebastian Gabriel, before Jared finishes his, says there's one more piece of info I know, but I could be fired for leaking this. But I do know something is about to be announced. Saw this at Reddit. Then how could you be fired for it if you saw it on Reddit?
They didn't actually leak the thing. Is that what they're saying? They know something, but they can't say. The carrot.
I've seen Sebastian in the chat before, and
no, I think this is Sebastian quoting someone on Reddit because he saw this on Reddit. Is I think the point of what he's saying.
I see. I don't know. I don't have Reddit. But
it's a cesspool.
I mean, isn't all social media now?
There's a few subreddits that are okay, but for the most part, it's a cesspool.
What else you got, Jer?
That's really all I got.
All righty, we'll move on to Mike. Mike, what do you got, man?
Finishes short as usual.
So I have I don't know. So I'll start off with what I want to see in ends. As far as, first off, I want to see better storytelling. Obviously, that took a step back. Storytelling and dialogue took a step back in Halloween Kills. Obviously, that movie was made for Michael. It was all about his kills. So I would like to see better storytelling in ends, which I think we're going to get. Hopefully, better dialogue, which I hope we're going to get. So that would be number one on my list. On what I want to see. And honestly, number two, I'd like to see Michael go back to more of what we saw in the original. And when I say that, I mean back to stalking. Obviously, in Kills, we saw Michael just go all out brutal and ham on everybody. Now, obviously, he's gone for a few years now, so maybe I don't know how they're going to bring him back or where that's going to go, but I would like to see him in that stalking sense, in that stalking phase for the first part of the movie, or ever when they decide to bring him back. I would like to see that instead of him just diving headfirst in and going crazy again on everybody. I think we got enough of that in Kills. I mean, we all love to see Michael go crazy, especially me. That's why I like Kills. But I would like to see more of the stalkishness come back from Michael and the stalking. I know there was a deleted scene in Halloween Kills that I thought should have been in there, that I thought would have been good and would have added to that intensity as far as stalking. Number three, this is something we talked about. I want to see Allison take the lead. I think that she earned that. I wanted to see her do that in Kills a little bit more, to be honest with you. But I would love to see her be the lead role in this more than I would Jamie Lee Curtis. That's just my opinion. I think that she's great. I think that she fits the role very well, and she's definitely earned her position and spot to be a lead role in Halloween Ends.
And before everybody gets on they're marketing it around Laurie and Jamie Lee Curtis, so that means it's just Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie versus Michael, and it's going to be their story. I'm telling you, Allison is huge in this movie, and in fact, not just like, because someone can show up on set after somebody else and leave before someone else and still do more work during their time there.
Absolutely.
To our understanding, Allison has more to do in this movie than Laurie. They're still going to market it as Jamie Lee Curtis. That's what you do. It's a smart thing to do. Is it disingenuous a little bit? Maybe not so this time around, but it definitely was with Kills. What else do you got, Mike? Or was that everything?
No, I got two more. This is just a random one I threw out there. I kind of want the unexpected to happen, but reasonably. Like, I know everybody's talking about this big twist at the end of the movie, something we're that's gonna blow our socks off, or however you want to phrase it. That's fine. I kind of want to see something different, something unexpected, but I just want it to be reasonable, something that's not going to disappoint me. I don't know what that is. That's why it's the unexpected. So that's what I would like to see. And number 5, this might piss off some people, but I think Laurie is done making Halloween films. That's just my opinion. I say go ahead and just kill her off. It's time. She's ran her course. I'm a big Jamie Lee Curtis Laurie fan, but I just think it's time. You know what I mean? She's been in many movies in this franchise. She's done a great job in every single one of them. the number one scream queen in my opinion. It's just time. Go ahead and end this. Obviously, Michael's not going to die. At least.
Did you notice that when Ends comes out, Laurie will now have appeared in more Halloween movies as a Jamie Lee Curtis, to be specific, as a performer, will have appeared in more Halloween movies than anybody. The prior person was Mr. Donald Pleasance. So
very interesting. Very interesting. I think it's
where she's like, okay, now look, hey, I've done more than anybody. I'm done.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I just think it's her time to go. There's not a film that I hated her in. She wasn't in Kills a lot, obviously, so there's not much you can really hate on, which I thought was the right way to go. But now it's, give her whatever time she needs on screen for this final film. And honestly, I think just kill her off. Some people will like that idea. Some people will hate that idea. But like I said, that's what I want to happen. And those are my top five. If I had to pick two that I really want to see, I definitely want more Michael stalking and on Laurie to die. Those are my top two. So
I mean, if it made sense, Michael smashing her face into a glass cabinet should be the end. She's pretty old.
Yeah.
Even if you're not old, shit, fuck that'd be terrible. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Even better if they are old.
Our buddy Jay Ryan sends in a message. Did you verify the info I sent you by chance? I attempted to verify it, and it did not get verified. In fact, it was pretty emphatically denied. And this is what he sent me, and the only reason I'm going to read it online is because I've seen it elsewhere online, which was kind of the big giveaway. Michael gets caught again. The part where he and Laurie are fighting in the footage is the opening scene of Halloween Ends and is a continuation from Halloween Kills. Laurie leaves the hospital and goes to the Myers house. Michael escapes in 2021, ends up killing someone in the hospital. So I'm not saying all of that's incorrect, but the portion about excuse me. Oh, that went terrible. There's just a lot that's not right there at all, from what I understand.
I mean, there's no way he can get caught, right?
Oh, he's not caught. No, he's not caught.
About to say, you're telling me this man went on a brutal killing spree in the middle of a street and he's going to get caught? I mean, that's just.
The working title is Cave Dweller.
Yeah,
we just need to end the movie with Michael getting arrested.
But I'd only be satisfied if the Iron Lady took him down.
Who?
No.
Oh,
Iron Thatcher
lady. Yeah.
Oh, and I also want to say, I know Laurie dying was something I want to see happen, and I know it's not going to happen just the way what I'm hearing now, like what we've heard so far. But don't die in a way they did in Resurrection. Obviously, it's not going to be like that from what I hear. Like as much as I see and how much she was probably going to be involved in this film. That was a terrible way to go out in Resurrection. So as quick as it was, and just had the whole rest of the movie to go with. I don't like that.
I'm thinking they're on the roof of the hospital. The story has made it all the way back to the hospital, and Mr. Dangertainment himself shows up. Mr. Freddy, Mr. Busta Rhymes, and he goes to kung fu kick Michael, but Michael friggin' ducks out of the way wrestling style, and Freddy kicks Laurie off the building. What death do you prefer, that one or the Resurrection one?
Honestly, that one. I mean, I'm just saying, Resurrection is a shit movie to begin with. I would just love to see that. I would love to. As crazy as that is, I just didn't like the kiss on the cheek. I'll see you in hell, Mike. That's stupid. Come on. I mean, not that what you said isn't stupid. That's stupid too. But I'd get a laugh. I'd get a laugh out of that. I'm like, oh man, that's funny.
If he says, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then hits her with a super kick.
Ozzy says, I think Laurie will die early in the film.
I got it, Jared. I got it.
Man, I don't want that to happen.
It sounds like she just filmed way too much for that to be the case. So I get it. She wasn't there on set for a long time, but
she was there filming wise in a sense a lot longer than what she was for Kills.
For Kills. Oh, for sure. Kills was
like 9 days,
8 or 9 days. Yeah, it was very short. Very short, and not even like super busy on all those days either. So like,
yeah, I know she was out walking her dog. That's how I ran into her.
That was like the big thing. Like, no, she's not all over Kills, and yet they're marketing her as such. So, was that your 5, Mike? I've lost track.
Yep. Those are my 5.
All right, Johnny, give us 5, man. What do you got?
All right. I'm a bit less specific on some of these than others, so they're kind of sort of generic-ish. But for me, the 5 things I want most in this film are: I want a good story, start to finish. That's the most important thing to me is that we have a good story from start to finish. I don't care what the story is; I just want it to be good. Number 4, awesome kills. They moved the bar up in kills that I think there's gonna have to be some interesting set pieces that are good. Like the Michael versus firefighter scene was an awesome set piece. That was just amazing in my opinion. So, I want them to up that ante. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, but I want them to up that ante. The next thing for me is I want interesting side characters. That's something that for me, interesting secondary characters. And that's something that this trilogy has kind of lacked so far for me, is those interesting secondary characters. Like the main characters have been good, but the secondary characters have been annoying as
I think it would depend on who you classify as a secondary character, right? Like, give us an example for Kills. Who do you think of?
Well, for me, any of the secondary characters are non-Strodes and oh god, why am I blanking on his name right now?
Tommy, Lindsay, Lonnie. Do you classify them as secondary?
I would, yeah.
And you don't think that was strong? Wow.
Well, it was more strong than some of the other. Like to that point, they were the most strong, but even they were sort of weak. Like Tommy, they kind of turned to me. There was so much potential there, and by the end of it, I was just like, yes, just get rid of this guy. He's annoying me, and that was the wrong. Lindsay, I guess, is probably the best secondary character for me in the whole trilogy so far.
My Lonnie heart is hurting.
But it just. I want some interesting secondary characters. For me, like the worst example is Big John, Little John. Like that was nearly 20 minutes of the film. I'd like to hear.
Oh, come on! Oh, you sound like that.
What?
I didn't like them.
They're awesome.
They
were awesome. I liked them a lot.
Well, it felt like a half hour. Like that's the problem, is that it felt so much more.
I thought they were great. I didn't have any issue with them whatsoever.
Yeah,
it was more
I thought they were on point.
The timing of it that I didn't like that part. I want interesting secondary characters. People that are sort of secondary to the main plot that are interesting and good. Thank you, chat. I didn't catch the name because you moved it up and brought it off so fast, but yeah, there you go. Entertainment Wizard. I agree.
Someone said it. Someone finally said it.
We all think it. I love you, Saturn, but it's weird.
I know the whole dress
2...
thing didn't work out.
I'm sorry. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. And it got me good. Number 2, Linton sort of alludes to it there, is I want a conclusion of the Laurie story. I don't necessarily, that doesn't have to end with her dying. There just has to be a satisfying conclusion of Laurie's arc in this story. And the most important thing for me is I want exposition on Michael. That's the most important thing to me. Like they've been setting this up to sort of answer the questions and give you that background and story on what makes Michael, and I'm here for that. I like that kind of exposition, and I am definitely, that is the number one thing for me, is I want exposition of what makes Michael.
Fair. Kieran hasn't gone yet, I believe. So I don't even know if he has a list. I don't know if he was joking about not having a list or not. Do you have a list?
Oh,
No, I
great.
don't have a list.
You want to name a few things then? I don't know why you don't have a list.
I'll tell you why. Because we've talked about this movie too much already.
Get used to it.
Yeah, I know. Stupid Halloween.
Whoa.
Right? See? Forgive him. He's grumpy.
I'm pretty sure
Stupid
I've
hot.
already named off like 10 things I want for this movie
Give us
just
the
over
thing
the
you want
last
the
like
most
5
then.
months. But anyways, I do have a bunch of stuff that I want to see happen. I really would like to see a compelling, important arc for Hawkins is really important to me. I want to make sure that, you know, all the backstory and all the, you know, making him such an important character pays off in a way that makes him important to whatever, however they defeat Michael or get rid of Michael. If they don't kill him, then, you know, at the very least they fix their problem, and, you know, it's supposed to be an ending of the story. So I hope that his arc is important. Number 2, I want the flashbacks that we saw. I don't need more flashbacks. I would like a little bit more flashback time. Doesn't have to be crazy, but I want that also to mean something, to go back and say, you know, like, oh, that happened for a reason. Oh, this happened in the flashback for a reason. They're in this setting for a reason. Or, I mean, a lot has been made out of the looking out the window. I think that stuff has to tie into ends for it to have made sense. If it doesn't tie into this movie at all, then it kind of made it pointless to do it in the first place, other than great, everybody wants to see a flashback and you know, a clean mask and that sort of stuff. I think it has to make sense. It has to be building towards something in this movie. I've said many times I want Michael to die. I don't want it to be die like kind of or maybe or whatever. I want him to be obliterated, and, you know, he can come back as a spirit and whatever. Michael can always come back, or at least the shape can always come back. I don't need that, but like, I want Michael to be fucking shot out of a cannon into a million pieces and into a fucking wood chipper. I would like to see Allison have a good character. That's important. Oh, and also, I also would really like, not just stalking like Mike had alluded to. I really want to see the stalking part as well, but just to kind of carry on, I would like to, just like the way that he had kills in Halloween 2, for them to be very interesting, sadistic type of kills. Like, I would like to see, I don't want to just see him come up, you know, from the shadows and kill everybody that way. That's not what I mean by stalking, but like, just the camera work in some of the older movies where they would follow over his shoulder, or you would see him somewhere you wouldn't expect. The frame, you're like, you know, sometimes they show in the frame a doorway and he walks through it and you're like, no, that's obvious. You want him to come from a corner where you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Why is he over there? It really sort of sets you off when he comes from somewhere you don't think he's going to be. Really liked the kill when it's in 18, I think, right? Where he walks through the side of the house and then you see him come and stab the lady through the throat. But like, just seeing a shot that's not set up for him to walk in, and then he's just there, it makes it look so much more real. It's almost like security camera footage. I would love to see that sort of stuff, stalking and praying, that same sort of way. And that was 4 or 5 things.
For me, I'm with you, man. I want,
and I don't want to sit beside Johnny.
I want Hawkins. Wait, I thought you didn't want to sit beside Jer.
No, I'm ripping on Jer, but I like Jer. I like Johnny too, but don't stay off your fucking phone.
Maybe they don't want to sit beside you.
That's fine.
Maybe you'll
I want to see Michael on border security.
You can
I'll
sit
sit beside.
How about that?
I'll sit beside Matt Whitfield. He's my good friend.
Oh boy.
He won't talk.
He might snore though.
He'll eat a big ass chicken quesadilla, fart twice, and go to sleep.
Oh man.
I didn't need to know about the farting thing.
Poor Maddie.
Well, if he ever comes up there to visit and goes to the movies with you, you will need to know.
My 5 is Hawkins. Hawkins, I think, is a grossly underrated character in the new movies. I'd go as far as saying, like, for me, Hawkins, in terms of supporting Halloween characters, is one of the best characters they've ever created. And just in terms of like quality character in a movie, I know Johnny was saying the secondary characters he doesn't think are that good. Well, I don't know anyone in Halloween's 1 through whatever that's not, you know, Laurie or Loomis that I go, or I guess Jamie and Rachel too. You know, Hawkins is probably number 5 on my list, and maybe even above number 5 if I'm being frank, even though Danielle Harris's performance in 4 is just tremendous. There's so much to this character that they've added now by adding to the original story, and so I want to see them properly close out his story, because without his story, we really don't even have these movies. You know, as much as people want to be like, "Hey, Laurie," well, it's Hawkins' story that springs on Halloween Kills. We go back to the flashback. I mean, it's really Hawkins' story that springs on everything post the original Halloween movie, you know, by allowing Michael to live. So that'd be my number 5. My number 4 is Allison, much like Mike said. Passing of the torch needs to happen. Let's have Laurie pass the torch to Allison. I don't know, you know, if it needs to be in your face. Anthony Stanfield says literally half of you have only hit the like button. Half of you. Well, if there's 42 people in here right now, let's have a bunch of Mother Canuckers out there. That's right, I used the Mother Canucker line again. Hit the like button, please. It helps other people find the stream. If you support what we do and you don't want to support us on a financial level, which is completely understandable, it takes literally 2 seconds to click that thumbs up button, and it really does help us out. I don't make the rules, YouTube does. I just follow them.
Man, I hit the like button on these videos so much, I started getting recommendations for other people talking about Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
It has encompassed my life now. I can't go to YouTube without it coming up.
Jer's pie chart is now 99% wrestling, 1%.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the
Halloween
fam. Welcome to the
It's
Halloween
interrupting
fam.
my NWA Wildside 2002 episode. God damn it.
That's it's an improvement, downgrade.
He wants to see him stalk someone down the same way as Annie in 78. I don't know if the Glass Hill kill is going to be exactly like that, but I've been told the Glass Hill kill is pretty creepy and gnarly, and it sort of invokes some of the imagery we got when he's chasing Lindsay in Kills. So we'll have to see how that plays out for ourselves. But yeah, 3 for me is just story. Tell a good story. You're finishing it off. There's not a whole lot of story in Kills. Let's tell a good Halloween story. Number 2 for me, it's time for Laurie to kick the bucket.
So did you just copy my list?
Basically, I was thinking that as you were reading your list. It's I'm done. Let's end her. Let's put her out of her misery. Let's end this charade. This charade.
I mean, ain't no way in hell this woman's enjoying life.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Sorry, I'm being messaged late at night, but it's rather important. Private chat here. Sean numbered his. Yeah, Sheriff Kieran. I see what you're saying. And then number 1 for me is I'm gonna, big shock here, go against what Kieran's saying and say they need to end this in a similar fashion to how they ended the original Halloween movie. He's the boogeyman. He's the shape. have him fade away into Halloween night to never return or someday return. Let's let the box office
I
decide.
agree.
So let him fade away. And yeah, that ending alone will piss people off because they want something definitive. But whenever I hear someone definitive, the answer's always got to be Michael's got to die. Michael's got to die. Michael's got to die. Well, my question to that is why does the good guy have to win? Some of the best horror movies are when, hey, no happy ending. Fuck you. You're not getting your Mr. Sandman at the end of this with the back of the ambulance. I'm not saying you're not. I'm simply saying it should at least be on the table that Michael could be the winner here, or at least the survivor. But I'll beat that horse till the movie comes out. And then when he, tragically dies via a Terrence super kick, I'll be crying outside of the movie theater that night. You guys will have to, put me out of
I'll make sure to record it and make sure to put on the stream.
Can we get
fall to your
Aaron
knees
super kicking Sean?
Yes.
Be a funny image. I'll take it.
Can Terrence get his leg up that high?
Terrence has told us that he is a online karate champion or something like that.
I don't think that matters for much.
He can get his leg pretty high when he pees.
Well, I hardly play video games anymore, but I like 80% of users in NHL hockey online, so yeah. Anyway, let's shift gears. That's going to do it for our Halloween Ends talk tonight. Feel free to comment in the chat anything Halloween Ends you want or anything else you want. But if you want to steer the discussion back to Halloween Ends, you'll have to send in a super chat or send in a question. We'll address some questions towards the end of the show, which isn't too far off, probably. We can go for another 40 minutes if people have time. But let's switch gears to this because I don't know how many of you guys are seeing it. But Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness releases. It premiered last night, sitting at 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the gist of what I understand here is as long as you don't have insane expectations out of cameos and keep them fair and actually look at this as a Doctor Strange movie going on a journey through the Multiverse of Madness, then you'll probably leave the movie liking it. I can't stand the first Doctor Strange movie. I think it's terrible. But as a character, I love the character. I have no problem with this character at all. I think Cumberbatch is amazing. And I think this movie has a chance to be really good. I just don't know when I'm going to get around to see it. And if I'm being honest, it won't be opening weekend unless something changes. So excitement level for this, guys. And what do you expect from it?
Well, my excitement level is ridiculously high, and that's just because I'm a huge fan of the character and Benedict Cumberbatch. So, no, I mean, I'm excited. I'm seeing it Friday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. is my screening time on Friday. I'm excited. Are we gonna have cameos? Absolutely. I mean, they released a clip last week that literally confirms the Illuminati. So we know Doctor Strange is coming across the Illuminati, and I think that's sort of going to be most of the extent of the unknown cameos. I think like most of the other cameos we're going to get have been things that have been teased and hinted at through the poster and the trailers we've gotten previously. So yes, we're going to get Captain Carter and some of those other things that they've been teased and taunting us with, but it's the Illuminati that I'm most interested in seeing who sits on that, who those characters are, and how they integrate into the MCU. I'm excited for that, and those sort of things. This story intrigues me because, like I said, I love Doctor Strange, and I love the multiverse. I love that chaos and confusion that it brings, and I'm really excited for this movie. Doctor Strange became my favorite character that's been added to the MCU in a very long time. He's even, to me, I like him more than I like Spider-Man.
Pretty fair. I mean,
I probably like him better than Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
I really like that this movie is going to feel more like a Doctor Strange tale, I guess. I didn't mind his solo movie. I remember thinking it was quite good after I watched it in the theater. It's not super high in my ranks, but Doctor Strange is well known for dealing with things that nobody else even knows happened. So, like while the Avengers are out there defeating Ultron, Doctor Strange actually saved this whole timeline, from being fucked up without anyone even knowing. He doesn't bother telling anyone. That's in some crazy world where, the fabric of time would have been destroyed. He was able to go back and fix things. And so I'm excited for it to be more of a Doctor Strange tale. If you read comic books or know of him from cartoons and things like that. I like that a lot. I like the character. I love Wong as a character as well. So I'm excited for it, and everyone's still kind of looking towards where is Avengers. Where's the next Avengers movie, the next big thing gonna go? We know about things that happened in Loki that seem to be pointing towards a certain direction, but like I'm hoping that it will point us in a little bit better direction for that. I won't be upset if it doesn't, but that's what I'm hoping from, other than fun cameos and a great performance by Benedict Cumberbatch. But
I
yeah,
I'm
really excited. I'm not so excited that I already have my pre-ticket booked or anything, but
same. Like,
I know which one not to go to now. 1 o'clock on Friday.
My excitement level is about a 1.5.
I wasn't sure if you're a big MCU guy or not.
No, that's the only reason why. There's a lot I don't know, so I don't know how much I have to watch, or I don't know how all that works. So I'm not the biggest MCU guy. So
Side note on some MCU news: apparently Miss Marvel is going to theaters overseas. So that one was surprising, considering it's a Disney Plus series. I don't know if it's the first episode or first 2 episodes or
Miss Marvel the show.
Yeah, so
that's not surprising to me in a certain portion of the world. I mean, she's the first.
Well, they know it's the first they've done for Disney Plus, so makes you wonder if they'll tinker.
Sorry, it's playing where in theaters?
Overseas. I don't know where overseas. I don't know.
I'm betting in the Middle East.
Because she's a Middle Eastern character.
Yeah, I'm betting in like Saudi
thing for
Arabia.
that, yeah.
My bet is probably Saudi Arabia, if I had to bet.
Have a chance to rake in some big dollars then. That makes sense.
I mean, they're always looking to expand in new markets. They're always and their characters are, encompassing all the different. I don't know if you want to say minority groups or whatever. Different religions. Like
Pakistan.
We just found out. Yeah, I don't know. All people from all walks of life. Where Marvel's really reaching out and doing that lately. So, but we just found out Moon Knight is Jewish.
I'm saying Pakistan because that's where it is being released theatrically, which makes sense because Kamala Khan is of Pakistani descent.
There you go. Perfect. So that's kind of cool. I like that.
By the way, some of the talking and ends things I see here, can't vouch for any of it, but I pray that doesn't happen. The whole Michael talking and ends thing, I see it coming up in the chat a few times. And, please no.
I do want whatever crazy ending has been talked about, like, oh, this is gonna piss people off, or it's gonna be very
blown out of proportion. So
whatever that happens, I hope it's something that's interesting.
There's gonna be a narrator in this film that we're gonna come find out is actually Michael.
So on my off days, I was a Walmart greeter, and
it got pretty awkward when they beat up my face that bad. I had to explain to my boss what happened. He wasn't very happy with me. He sent me to the stockroom for a week.
They rolled back his face.
I had a hard time explaining missing 2 fingers to my boss at Walmart.
Jer, we know you're a huge Doctor Strange fan. We know you got posters littered all over your house. You probably bought tickets galore. No, seriously though, any interest in seeing Doctor Strange at all?
I generally like Bannister Crumble Benches movies, but I mean, I've seen 2 Marvel movies so far. I saw Iron Man in theaters, which was like 8 decades ago.
Good one though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like that one. And then I saw Black Widow, and I enjoyed that one a lot more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when they did the big reveal at the end, it's like, whoa! And then
that ain't what got you excited about that film. Don't lie to the people.
Well, no, and then I was so confused because the movie was over and like nobody bothered to get up and leave, and I was like, the movie's over. What's wrong? I gotta go take a leak. Like, so.
Have you legitimately only seen 2 Marvel movies?
Yeah.
I thought I sucked.
I don't know what's worse, that I believe him or that I think he might actually be telling the truth.
I don't know if it's 2, but I imagine it's very few.
No, it's legitimately 2.
None of the Spider-Man movies, huh? Wow.
No,
They don't
I
have
saw
Scarlet-
the trailer for what was the big one that came out? The Avengers one, where the big goatsy in the sky shows up in the corner.
It's very simple. If you want Jared to watch an MCU movie, just put the heroine in a skin-tight suit. Put it on the poster. He'll watch it. That's why he's lying to people. That's why he watched Black Widow.
Why is Johnny talking about heroin in a skin-tight suit?
Oh man. All right. I just want to let everybody know tomorrow we have a special May the 4th Star Wars video that will drop. Our friend Ian and I discussed the possibility of episodes 10, 11, 12 and where they might head with that. And we also dive into, completely unexpectedly, Star Wars Galaxies. I don't know if anybody remembers that game, but we must have talked about that for a good 20 minutes today. So check that out. It drops tomorrow. That brings us on to DC, fellas, right before we get Mike out of here for the night, because I don't imagine he wants to talk wrestling. But DC has a plethora of issues right now. And the DCEU was already a mess, and they've already constantly changing things. However, now you add in the Depp Heard stuff, and most industry experts believe that when this is all said and done, Heard will probably remain in the second Aquaman movie because it's already done filming, and it's going to cost a ton to get her out of there. But most believe that she likely will not be back after that. Add in Mr. I get arrested every other day of the week, Ezra Miller, who has a big ticket movie that's coming out that just got delayed from this year to next year. And what is the name of that Flash? Is this called Flashpoint? What is it called?
I don't think they actually have a title.
A title for it yet? No.
No, I mean, we know it's Flashpoint, but I don't know if that's the official title of it or not.
Okay. The question here is, guys, what do they do? And I mean, obviously they have the Warner Brothers Discovery thing going on right now, and there is a lot of changes happening, even at the CW side of things as well. But specifically the DCEU here, it seems like there's a want to do more material in the vein of Joker, in the vein of the Batman. But what do you do with the material you want to continue to make for this? And I suppose the Amber Heard thing isn't too big of a deal because at the end of the day, it's not her movie. But the Ezra Miller thing is a pretty big problem. How do you guys see this playing out one way or another? Because it's drama. And for as much good DC does, it seems like it only takes 2 weeks to, again, not necessarily DC's fault in any of these examples, but they just can't seem to get away from the negativity. And in this case, glaring negativity.
I mean, it sucks because everyone always talks about how much the DC universe is terrible and blah, blah, blah. And, not the movies. You forget they've put out some pretty decent ones. Like the first Wonder Woman movie was well received. Shazam, I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about that movie. Aquaman was great. There's been some good things, but they get overshadowed by the fact that Superman doesn't want to be Superman anymore, and Affleck doesn't want to be Batman anymore, but he's gonna sign on for this. Nobody wants to do any of this stuff. It's like they do get so much bad press, and a lot of people have talked about how working on the movies has not been fun. It's been really bad altogether behind the scenes, and at the very least half bad in the cinemas, like not being that Batman versus Superman hasn't been too well received, although it is getting some people are really starting to hail Affleck's Batman now, but Justice League when it came out was really terrible. The expanded edition is great for some people, but it didn't save it or anything. So
you mean the Snyder version?
Yeah, the Snyder cut. I liked it quite a bit better, but it didn't save the fact that it bombed. Like, it was terrible in theaters. It was a terrible experience,
Man, I still remember my Batman versus Superman experience, and it's just not a good one.
It was bad, and I
don't know if it was because it was the length. I don't want to say it was because of the length of the movie. It's just I don't know. One, it was a long movie, and but I've seen long movies. Like I didn't feel that way about the Batman. I didn't feel that way about No Way Home. It's just I don't know. I haven't seen it since I went and saw it in theaters when it came out. So I don't remember exactly what I didn't like about it. I know I didn't like Ben Affleck's Batman. So, and I'm with you, Karen. Like I've been seeing a lot of people praise that over the past few weeks, and I just don't get that.
I'm not one of those people. Ben Affleck is a good actor. I'm not going to rip him. He's done some good things. He's done some not good things before, but he's done some really good things.
One of my favorite movies is The Town.
And he's great. He's a great director.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I honestly think they need to just find a way to hit the soft reboot so that they can keep Wonder Woman, they can keep Aquaman. And in a comic book world, it's very easy to do that.
I'd be surprised if this Flash movie does it somewhere, and if they go back and make even further changes to really, because that was the Flash movie's goal, was to reset their universe. And
the only problem is that does the Flash movie reset himself?
Well, I mean, it's just going to establish the multiversal effect in DC. I mean,
the multiverse the multiverse is a much bigger thing in DC comic canon than it is in Marvel too, right? So it's easy to access that.
Yeah, time is more the playground for Marvel, and whereas DC plays in space.
Speaking of time, though, the best thing DC can do is take their time. Don't fucking rush into shit, because every time you do it, you blow it.
I think the thing that DC needs to realize is that cookie cutters don't work for superheroes. That's the problem that they ran into with a lot of this current phase that they ran into. Was Chris Nolan went out there and told a dark, gritty Batman trilogy that was amazing. So they thought, well, superhero movies have to be dark and gritty if we want them to be successful. And we talked about this.
I don't think their movies have been dark and gritty, though. To be honest, the closest to
now. They're getting more into that realization that they don't need to be that way. Like Shazam is funny and earthy and it's good, and Wonder Woman isn't dark and gritty, and neither is Aquaman.
I think Wonder Woman is shit personally,
because their characters aren't dark and gritty. Whereas if you come back to the Batman,
Wonder Woman?
You want to talk about not being able to act? You can set her up right beside Hayden there, buddy. Oh yeah, 110%. You see her in that Ryan Reynolds movie? Fucking every other word out of her mouth was fucking cringeworthy. I'll take Hayden's performances over her any day of the week. Any day. Patty Jenkins is the miracle there. Good director. Director who doesn't give a shit about serving the fans' needs. Good director, George Lucas. I'm not saying he was a good director for the prequel. Sorry, Johnny. Go ahead.
But no, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, it's sort of, they're finally realizing that the cookie cutter doesn't work with superheroes. And that's been to their benefit, but the problem is they just have so much.
To the audience and for me, when you say cookie cutter, what are you referring to?
Trying to make them all the same. like trying to
Isn't it?
tonally make them all the same. Like Man of Steel was tonally like a Christopher Nolan movie, and it didn't work because of that. Because, like we said, it was
He
maybe
did work on it.
maybe a month ago we were talking about this on this show, and Kieran and I discussed that Superman isn't dark and gritty. He's he's red, white, and blue. So it doesn't work for his character. So now we're getting to that point where they're sort of tailoring to the characters, not to the universe, which is a good thing. But the problem is that now they're running into other walls. They're tripping and they're falling,
And some of
Ezra,
them,
Ezra Miller is now suddenly having just an epic collapse that no one can really explain.
I'd hate to be someone head up at DC between the Herd stuff every day and the Miller stuff every day. Someone over there has got to be.
There was a TikTok I saw earlier this week that pretty much summed up that. It was like the one person talking to another person. It was like DC studio head, and then intern, like having that conversation of bad things happening, like, well, not our problem, we're still doing it, and it just keeps compounding all of the crap that's going on. And I think part of their problem is that they're not willing to, I don't want to say flush away the universe, but they're not willing to start fresh.
I don't even think you need a connected universe. Marvel's already doing that, and this is where he disagrees. I don't think you need to have a Marvel formula. The Marvel formula for a lot of people is starting to wear down. There are certain things that are not, and like obviously they've added a bunch of diversity, not just like in multiple ways. I mean that with their Disney Plus shows, where like the genres have actually been different and stuff. Where the movies were really, other than like the big ticket ensembles, were really starting to get a little repetitive for a lot of people, myself included. And DC, like I didn't find Justice League. I know Zack Snyder's Justice League ended up being much darker, but that first Justice League movie, I have no idea what the hell they were trying to do with that.
But I mean, that just proves the point, though. Marvel kind of bucked that trend when they injected fresh blood who was willing to do new things. Like they brought in Taika Waititi and James Gunn, who just were pretty much like, I'm going to do my own thing, but it's going to fit, it's going to fit in your universe, but it's my own slice of heaven, and it's amazing, and it's worked. DC needs to do more of that. Like, yes, the things can operate inside the same sort of universal bubble, but they don't need, A doesn't need to be set up B, which sets up C, which goes into D, which then ties back to A, which proves why C happened. Like, you don't need that sort of interconnectivity for it to work. Like, you can have these things built up, and yes, you can bring, your Justice League together for the big threats, but you don't need to, like, it just.
I'm okay with standalone movies though too. Like look at the Batman, look at Joker, although I suppose neither one of them are going to end up being a standalone movie, as they're both getting sequels. And I guess
no, but they're standalones to themselves. Like,
they're not a connected universe at the moment anyway. And I am curious to see what they do with both of those titles, because like pressure's kind of on, and if you can hit somewhere close to how the first two did, I think it has a chance to be good. We're going to shift gears here, and in order to do that, we're going to get rid of Mr. Mike Bish and Mr. Kieran, who are going to leave for this evening. Mike, your podcast is coming up. When might we be able to hear more of that, sir?
I would say probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Kieran, Star Wars Days tomorrow, man. Big things coming? Yay? Nay?
I think it'll be some fun text from my friends. That's about it. We might get a little something.
Clip! Kimmel! Give us the clip.
I mean, yeah, that would be cool. But it could very well just be the clips of stuff that we've already seen too, right?
Yep.
Like an extended version of something we already saw in the trailer. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't join for wrestling. I still haven't caught up. I am hoping to catch up soon.
Yeah. Alrighty, man. Have a good one. Take it easy, Mike. Take it easy, Kieran. And
later. Hayden sucks.
Bye, guys. Fuck Dallas.
One question about the DC universe. I saw you guys talking about that Shazam movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the sequel to the Academy Award nominated movie Kazam from 1996?
Sure, why not? Headcanon.
All right. Cool.
No.
Sean indulges me. Get bent, Johnny.
Let's see here. I need a calendar before I ask this next question because I don't want to give false information. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're moving on to some wrestling talk here, and I'll play this little something for you guys. I know Kieran doesn't like her colors we're going with, and Kieran, deal with it. People copy colors all the time for podcasts and YouTube shows. But anyways, I didn't have time because it's just been so terribly busy. And the truth is, it probably won't be ready for next week either. However, I do think it'll be ready for the week after that. And we're going to have a little intro of sorts on the channel for this segment. We'll probably extend our wrestling segments to try to be half an hour each show, which gives us about, an hour to 70 minutes on the rest. But we have a wrestling segment called Sharpshooters, which, has a couple of meetings, but obviously a big Bret Hart fan. Have it there, and this is what we went with for now anyways. And this is the music we went with, which I'd be curious to hear if you guys have ever heard this rendition of it. I had never heard that until the other day. I've heard a bunch of different renditions, never heard that one. And the fella, to give him credit, because we do not own the rights to that music, but it is a cover and royalty free, is done by Heartbreak Kid Dimitri. And his title has Metallica Load album sound beside the Bret Hart song. Obviously.
Yeah, I can see that.
I prefer the original, maybe not the original Bret Hart, but the Bret Hart, like 90, I think it was 94 through 97 theme the most, obviously. But I didn't mind this. It was cool.
That version's got some chunk to it. I like it. I definitely get the load reference. It's very gritty and just it's got some bass to it. And because Bret's theme is kind of high pitch and almost poppy in a way, like the original theme. So that one just really, it's very grindy. I like it. Big fan.
Well, I'll say it. That to me sounded like we lost the rights to the original, so here's the new network edit.
Oh, I think it's way better than WWE's version, but
I'm not.
In fact, I think AEW's version is better than WWE's. Sorry, I thought you meant the song he came back in 2010.
Oh God, no, that's awful.
Yeah,
I'm referring to the track
that
we
was
just listened to.
I understand.
So this is a random reference, but the way the light is and the hat that Sean is wearing, he really looks like Masada right now.
Who?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh Jesus Christ! He's right, and now that he said it, I can see it, and it. Oh, good Lord! I'm sorry.
Never mind, I got it. Well, I don't have the long beard anymore, but
yeah,
yeah, I can see that a bit. Yeah,
okay.
Minus the beard.
Oh man, that's I'm never letting him near barbecue skewers.
We got some wrestling talk coming in the chat here. Toronto Freddy says Shaq attack. By the way, Freddy also pointed out getting his daughter up to speed with the WandaVision to prepare for Madness of the Multiverse multiversal variety. Fuck, jeez. By the way, Freddie, finally seen all of it. I can honestly say you were right, sir. You were right. It's pretty solid. It's decent. I liked it. It's different. It's different, and that's probably why I liked it. So
it's kind of funny I made the Shaq joke because it really ties in to us talking about AEW now.
Right. CJ Massey. I seen the Hardy Boys face the Ascension at a local show in Chicago on April 24th. Penta faced Jay Lethal too. It was sweet. You got that on the drive, man? Is that what on the drive? No.
I don't think so. Although now I'm gonna look the show up.
I was gonna say that sounds like maybe an AIW show or something.
I'm thinking like maybe
AIW,
NEW?
exactly what everybody expected us to talk about on Fandom Empire Live tonight.
Hey, their champion is former Zack Ryder. Big time wrestling.
It was a big time show. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, Illinois. Okay, cool. Their shows are not easy to come by.
Oh, Blade says Bret Hart. Get it? Blade, Bret Hart. Get the reference.
Shouldn't you know he's your dad?
Bret Hart to appear in AEW for the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Well, 2 weeks ago, I think we all would have been saying, well, no, it's come out that this WWE thing exists. But it seems like everybody's saying that cannot prevent him from going to AEW. But what it does prevent AEW doing is releasing their own Bret Hart t-shirts and stuff, to my understanding. So my fix to that is do a stable with FTR and CM Punk and just release that shirt. Hart Legacy? I don't know. Come up with something better than that. I'll buy it. Make it real cool.
Yeah. They could do something like that. And I mean, like, you're right that he's not really constrained by this merchandise deal. Like, he can
his value
relatively do whatever he wants. You know, I mean, there's certain restrictions, like you said, about, but it's like limited to merchandise restrictions. So it's weird because all this, you know, all these ideas were coming forth with, you know, the FTR stuff and the Punk stuff and the tournament, you know, happening this month. And we haven't got any like leaks or leads or anything. We don't really know what the hell is going to happen in the next couple of weeks that Bret could, you know, do something, or he could stay away because him and Martha aren't exactly on the greatest terms, or, you know, maybe they patch things up for Owen, or I don't know if or when we'll see Bret, because Bret's already been in AEW. Like, he was the guy who brought the title down for so it's not out of the realm of possibility, and Bret's probably open to it. But Bret said, like I think we covered last week, but Bret said they haven't even contacted him about it, which is weird because.
I mean, they not contacted him? No, I
don't
know.
Was Bret kayfabe and Dave? I don't know. Maybe, probably. I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest.
Fellas, we don't have much time to talk wrestling this week, but we'll go over some stuff we'd like to talk about next week. Obviously, we'll be reviewing AEW as it comes out. But I just want to ask, there's 4 weeks left now till Double or Nothing. And this has gotten almost no play. Obviously, they had something planned for last week that didn't happen because Mr. Page got the vid. One would hope he's good for tomorrow night, but not been confirmed yet. So how much trouble is this program in if he's not there again tomorrow night? None? You don't think so?
None, because it's still 3 weeks, 3 more weeks of TV. And I think the thing that kind of threw everything into the wrench last week was the late change. Like, we didn't know that Adam wasn't going to be there until Wednesday afternoon. We don't know when Tony Khan got the news himself that, Paige tested positive. He's not on the show this week. We don't know when that news came to everyone. So, I mean, if it was like, where was the taping last week? Philadelphia, right?
I think so,
Philly last week?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's safe to say that Adam was probably flying in that morning. So if he was flying in that morning, tested positive before the flight, then it makes sense that they'd have to make the quick change, and it would screw up everything because you have to change the show on the flight. Whereas if he's not there this week, they'll know about that. There won't be any shock. Okay, well, he's not there. they'd have a plan A and a plan B. If he's there, this is what we're doing. If he's not there, this is what we're doing. So, they'll have time to thought it through and planned it properly, that if he's not there, it's not a big deal for the program. He could have shot a promo himself.
Oh, no, don't go any further. Please don't go any further. You're going to ruin my last question of the show. Please don't.
Okay.
So I think
the
program is hurt a little bit, only because they started it 5 weeks out, if that. And I mean, the MJF Punk stuff was going on for like 2.5 months before we got the pay-per-view payoff. And, the Cole and Page stuff went on for 4 months. And it just feels like rushed, which is weird for a company that only has 4 pay-per-views. Like, they could have started doing this. They could have done Page and Cole 2 weeks previously and then jumped right into Punk and Hangman.
I think this filming issue was a problem.
Oh, yeah, because he had to take time off after the pay-per-view, yeah.
3 of 5 weeks, I believe. So
yeah.
It's just one of those timing things that sucks.
Yeah. Nothing's coming together the way, with Punk filming and Hangman getting COVID and all that. And,
so
it feels it should be hotter than it is.
Well, they have 4 weeks to do it. And you guys are going to get to book it, but there's a challenge because we're under time constraints. You have literally 2 minutes. And when I say you literally have 2 minutes, the stopwatch is on. You have 2 minutes to pitch to me. If you only have 4 weeks, or we could even do, what if he misses again tomorrow? But we don't know that yet. So let's do 4 weeks. How do you build this program into a banger, something that people will look back on and go, oh, that was really good? In just 4 weeks, who wants to go, Johnny or Jer?
I mean, I'll be Debbie Downer and I'll say they can't.
Okay, hang on. 3, 2, go.
There's no way to safely make this a banger because you were 4 weeks out from the pay-per-view and you are dealing with a babyface match.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not good. They're not. Historically, there are very few babyface matches that the build is good for. The match can pay it off, but the build is traditionally bad unless you have 2 of the greatest talkers in history. Warrior and Hogan is probably the best build to a babyface main event, and that's just because Warrior could do cocaine-fueled promos that makes you scratch your head and go, what the hell is he talking about? And Hogan was Hogan, and he just had that innate ability to put asses in the seats with his words. This is where the power lies. It's crazy crap like that you keep track of and remember. But if you look at the next example of a much superior wrestling match, but a much worse build, is Bret Bulldog SummerSlam 92. The build to that match was god-awful. It was terrible. But they put it in the main event slot because they could deliver. And deliver they did. It's one of, arguably it's a top 10 match in the history of WWE. And solely that's because of Bret, because Bulldog, he grabbed him by the hair and carried him to that match. That's, probably reason number 2 why Bret's one of the greatest workers of all time. Reason number 1 is Tom McKee.
Even I know that reference.
But Bulldog got fired a month later, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can't build to a babyface match and have it be good unless they've been like a tag team or they have a shared history. They don't have that shared history. They don't have that, common history to play off of that's going to make this match good. So this match isn't going to be good. You're going to have Punk leaning slightly heel or Page leaning slightly heel, and you can't do that with both not in the building, and they've both been out of the building for too much of the last month to make this build good. So I'm saying they cannot do it to make this match a banger, but the match itself will still be a banger because these are 2 extremely competent wrestlers who are amazing.
So he didn't try to pitch it in 4 weeks, and kind of respect that because I'm not convinced they can do it either. And it's not a CM Punk thing because I think Punk, even at his old age, it's clear his strong suit is still on the mic. He's fallen off on the ring a little bit, but I still find his matches entertaining. Very Bret Hart-like storytelling, obviously, that he's been going for. For me, it was always like, to me, I truly believe the goal here is to put the title on Punk. I just don't know if it's now or All Out. All Out gives you time, other than the Forbidden Door, to still continue the Page thing And then I'd say it also gives you time to properly execute a Punk heel turn. But like, I think you could have Punk do every dirty thing in the business, and outside of him saying Chicago sucks, they're never going to boo him in Chicago. So, and even
Maybe it does. Have you been there?
I have not. But he seems to love it. So, and then the other part of me is like, well, if the program's not that great and they still take the title off Page, I think it screams the lack of confidence that a lot of people are pointing out. And I also seen someone pointing out that, like there were AEW haters. It's just like, I can't wait till the ratings don't go up when Punk's champ. And I'm like, I wouldn't expect the ratings to go much higher, if I'm being honest. So, if at all. But anyway, Jared, 2 minutes, 4 weeks, end the show with this, man. How can they have a banger feud in 4 weeks if it was to end at Double or Nothing?
I think they need a hook. And that hook could be found in Punk slowly, subtly turning heel more and more each week. But he has to be justified in it. So I'm going to go back 13 years to an angle that Punk worked with Jeff Hardy. Punk cashed in on Hardy, but he was a babyface. So he's still champion and he's still a babyface, but he's slowly turning heel by being a dick. Like, can't work a tag match with Jeff Hardy because his eye hurt and they lose the match. Or something like that where Hangman keeps trying to get something out of Punk and Punk just refuses to give it to him. You know, they could team up against the Acclaimed, let's say. And Punk does something screwy where they bump into each other and Punk, stubs his toe or something and can't make the save and Hangman gets pinned with the tights. So
is Punk scissoring the Acclaimed enough to turn him heel? Is that good? Like if he does the scissor thing with them, is he heel?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. The Acclaimed are too over as pseudo baby faces.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. Yeah.
And then it slowly turn. Like Punk doesn't do anything overly heel, but you can kind of sense it in the promo where like, no, Hangman, you screwed up, not me. I'm still doing everything for the people. I always, throw the people into it because that's the crux of him being, like I'm justified in how I feel and what I do and all this. And that's kind of what Punk's always been, whether he's a babyface or a heel. And then you finally do the actual physical turn at the pay-per-view where Punk, ref goes down. Punk looks at the belt, Excalibur says, what the hell, use the bell or whatever. And, Punk stops for a second because it'll mean that he's thinking about it. And he hasn't actually done anything to solidify the heel turn yet. And then he does it. And he attacks Page with, whatever.
Oh, I haven't
wins the title.
You got 15 seconds. Sorry. Apologies.
And then, build it up to Punk actually physically doing something for the heel turn itself.
Mm.
Throw some hints in the promos. Maybe have a little interaction here and there. Have something mess up along the way where Hangman has a reason to question Punk. And then Punk says, no, I'm good. It's all an accident. It's in your head. Gaslight the fuck out of Hangman and then turn heel on him at the pay-per-view.
Johnny, I'll give you 30 seconds to retort that because it looks like you want to say something. You got 30 seconds and we'll get out of here, guys. Star Wars Day is only 47 minutes away.
Okay. Jeremy Landry, I'm going to take you back to the ripe old year of 2020. Congratulations. You just booked Kenny Omega version 2. Because that's exactly how Kenny turned heel.
Someone in the chat
Slow, subtle heel turn leading to Don Callis showing up with the microphone, which he waxed Jon Moxley with to win the belt. You just did the same thing over again. And that is quite possibly the worst thing they could do because they did it 2 years ago.
We'll have to see what happens anyway. I'm hoping for a heel turn. I want like a fucking give me 8 or 9 months of Punk being top heel in the company with a couple of people just fucking annoying people. I still think he's going to have people with him. I truly don't believe he'll be by himself for an entire heel run. I don't. That doesn't seem to be the AEW method either. So
we need the Punk family office.
Oh, God. Please, no.
There you go. That screams main event.
Man.
You really want to do something crazy? Have CM Punk join the Bullet Club. That would make the wrestling world drop its head. It's May. It's Bullet Club month. That's when crazy stuff happens. Like, could you just imagine that? Jay White walks out, hits the kill switch, does the hand thing, and Punk covers him for the 1, 2, 3. They throw up the 2 sweet. And CM Punk's in the Bullet Club. Like, what? The wrestling world would go bananas for that.
Oh man, that might be too close to man. What was that group he was in that he fucking couldn't stand?
Oh, the Nexus.
Nexus, yeah. Oh, he ranted and raved about that on a podcast.
Oh yeah. He was a big fan of those guys.
Oh, big fan of Ryback.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, the big guy.
Ryback keeps posting things on Twitter.
This guy just needs to stop posting on Twitter. Period.
He'll post a poll, be like, "Where do you want to see the big guy end up next? WWE, AEW, Impact, or retire?" So far, retire has won twice.
Retire is never an option. He always leaves the add option button available.
And then somebody adds it. That's amazing.
And it's like, take a hint. And then last week, did you see his boob tweet last week?
Oh boy,
no.
I'm not going to discuss it because it is legitimately one that actually made me go, what kind of human being are
the Vince
you?
One?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That one was like, pardon?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hold on. To answer the question somebody posted in chat, so the issue with Stu Grayson, yes, he's done in AEW. His contract was up.
They couldn't agree to terms and the doors opened for him to come back.
Yeah, they couldn't agree to financial terms on a new contract.
Try to keep this short, guys, because they really do got to run. Is the budget tightening up a bit at AEW? Because I was of the hope that they were going to be doing a second Dynamite soon because they need a second proper show with how big the roster is, especially as guys get healthy, if they don't have major injuries to other guys as they come back. I don't know. I guess I have some concerns, but I'm just used to things not.
If it isn't trimmed, it should be.
Yeah.
It feels like a little bloated. I mean, Ring of Honor alleviates some of that, but it's still to the point of you've got 4 shows, and Dark and Elevation is what they are, but I mean, you can only fit so many people in 90 minutes of TV and then 45 minutes of TV.
The commentating is fucking dreadful on Dark. I watched like 20 minutes of it last night in between periods of hockey game, and don't get me wrong, I like Big Show, I like Mark Henry, I even like listening to them when they're on podcasts. But those two together by themselves yesterday,
you can't have 2 color guys. You need an announcer.
Oh man, I was just like, oh no, I can think of some pretty bad comparisons.
You can't have 2 guys trying to do color commentary. You need an announcer to keep the focus as the focus, and then your color guys can sprinkle in their knowledge and history and all that stuff to make it work. Put Shivani on the desk with them for Dark, and it's fine.
Blade says Rampage needs to be 2 hours live every week. I will disagree with that. I will say that they have burnt the Rampage name already in terms of quality shows to the general public, in my opinion. And if they were to get another 2-hour live show a week, regardless of what day it's on, I would hope that it's a new brand name for it.
I think it airs at 5:00 this week due to the playoffs or something like that. Something like ridiculous hour.
Yeah,
going to be competing with like 2.5 men.
But I mean, I'd say that's beneficial for them. Because there's literally nothing.
2.5 men anymore.
There's literally nothing else against them. So
that's true.
Johnny, where can everybody find you, man?
Here, there, and everywhere.
Jared, what's going on with you, man? I know you got a thing going on that you like.
All right, I run a Facebook page, Dark Match Drive. We talk wrestling.
I have to get a little graphic for that so we can put it up.
Yeah, it's constantly updated. It's
you haven't sent him the logo yet?
I have not. I should do that. Actually, I was going to make a Multiverse of Matches joke earlier. I was going to send him the graphic for that and then try and turn it into the Doctor Strange movie. But anyway.
That's okay. When we were doing the reading the description of Halloween from the CinemaCon, I was like, oh my God, I've read this description 1,000 times. How have I not made a Ming joke? Right? I mean, 60 years ago, the Face of Fear was born. Like, wow, 77, the Face of Fear was. I thought Ming was in his 60s.
Yeah, right. King Haku, baby. And I also run a Google Drive, $10 a month for 5,000 gigs of wrestling. It is overwhelming. It is amazing. It's worth every penny you could ever spend. It's constantly updated. There's so much wrestling. It's insane. You won't have time for anything else. Just like sign the divorce papers. Just subscribe to the Drive. That's all you need.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Well, thanks for doing this. Star Wars Days tomorrow. Keep expectations in check, people. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness the day after. Big things coming. Keep in touch. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.